Okay, hello everybody, it's Dr. Wu. I'm here with Coach Colin at CrossFit Bovine, and we're going to go over a push-up.
Damn right. So, this definitely stems from, again, the most severe form of the movement. Maybe that's a handstand, maybe it's a handstand push-up. Who knows how far we can scale it up. But the scale from that is a little bit different plane of pressing. Obviously, we'd be pressing something overhead or inverted in the handstand. And a push-up is a little bit different because we're pushing away. But if he gets just ready to do a push-up, and we're going to kind of dig right into this. First thing is talking about, once again, the most basic form of anything, which happens to be hollow. And you can see this a little bit better now because he's got air on both sides of his body. He has a pretty decent curve going all the way down to his toes. If you're ever in a gymnastics gym, you're probably going to see a lot more, you're going to see a lot of guys and girls doing this down with their feet not flexed, so they're going to have the top of their foot on the ground. But it's a little bit painful if you're not used to doing it because, again, it's a gymnastic skill. But the other thing you can notice right away is his shoulders are tilted forward of his wrists. And that is a staple. That's part of kind of gymnastics 101. He's got a big shape of slightly curved, barely falling forward. And if he just does a push-up and goes back up, just watch his back go back to your hollow. And he's hollow right now, we can say. If he goes down to the ground and any of that changes, which it definitely does because he gets more flat and less rounded throughout, it's so hard to do that even, go ahead, push up. Go on, actually, just put your knees on the ground. It's so difficult to do that even people who can do what are we talking, 50 plus, 100 plus push-ups in a row, it's not a matter of he can do a lot of these, it's a matter of can he hold a position while he's trying to do work, no matter how fresh or how tired he is. We can scale this thing infinitely, and that's where we run into the problem, is people start to scale push-ups, because it's the most obvious thing to do, right to your knees. Yeah. And when we scale push-ups to our knees, we lose, go back up into your hollow, you don't have to do a push-up, but if he's in his, as hollow as he can get, and people say, oh, I'll just scale this push-up, and they drop their knees to the ground, he loses his ability to stay hollow because he's broken the system. We have a huge, huge break in the system. You cannot stay hollow on your knees. So while it's a good scale for somebody who we need something immediately, we don't have a surface to get up to, we can't elevate his body, it doesn't give us the root movement that we're looking for, which is hollow. So if he can take that to a box, to a bar elevated on a rig to give him a higher surface to do his push-up on, he can make his hollow and then working out of his hollow a little bit easier so that we can retain a base movement.
I'm actually glad that you brought that up because that is one of my biggest pet peeves in the world, is when people scale push-ups onto their knees. And it's not about scaling to your knees, it's about, well, maybe you actually have a problem with the core, maybe you have a core problem. Like maybe you aren't able to actually hold a hollow rock position. Because oftentimes it has nothing to do with upper body strength. It has everything to do with you can't actually hold that position in that basically plank or hollow rock position all the way down. Colin, can you actually bring one of those boxes over here? He was actually talking about scaling, instead of using your knees, use a box. Get into a position where you can still hold that same position, right, Colin? Like this. And keep that hollow rock position, go all the way down, and then come all the way back up. So that's usually, would you say, that's usually one of the biggest problems, is that they just don't understand how to get into a hollow rock.
Yep. Taking load off, again, like you said earlier, scale a load, not a movement. Scaling a movement would be maybe putting something in the way so he can't go down to the floor or down to his surface as easily or as deep. But we can scale the load almost infinitely until we're vertical and we're not actually doing any work.
On a wall. You can do it on a wall. If you don't have boxes, you can do it on the rack. You can do it on the box. Continually just try to get yourself lower, lower, and lower until you're basically on the floor. Now another thing that I'm glad that you also brought this up was that my weight was over my shoulders, over my wrist, okay? Oftentimes people don't have the prerequisite to even do the push-up, which is, do you have normal wrist extension and flexion? Some people's wrist flexion and extension, so flexion, what I mean is this is flexion and this is extension, and some people's extension are like this. Well, if you can't do this, what do you think is going to happen? The load is going to go all the way into your elbow and into your shoulders. So maybe we're looking at what your wrist extension looks like before even doing a push-up, making sure that you have that prerequisite to be able to do the push-up and then move forward. If you want more information, please go to my website at www.drwusportspod.com, and I'll see you later.